6 minutes after 9 o'clock, it's time for In the Garden with Carol Ann. In the Garden with Carol Ann.
In the Garden.
Carol Ann Baldwin is here to answer your questions about your gardens. If it's been raining, we got a flower in here that seems to be watered. It looks like it looks like Bob Ross's hair. You know, the late, great Bob Ross, the artist. Looks like Bob Ross's hair.
Yeah, that one just sort of looks like it got forgotten back there, but that's, yeah, that's one of those things that happens to, plants happens when plants get brought indoors.
Yeah.
That somehow or another they don't always get
What is that plant? What's that
the
called?
attention. It's a chrysanthemum. It's a dead one, but it's I don't think it's going to make.
Yeah,
a comeback.
Dan was saying they added water yesterday, but apparently it didn't help.
No, it was already too far gone.
What was that resurrection plant? Did you bring
That's
that
a fern.
What is that?
It's a resurrection fern. You'll find it growing on trees and stuff, and it'll look dried up, brittle, crumbly, and we get a good rain, and next thing you know, it's green again. So it's just when it sort of goes real dormant when we're real dry, but after that, it comes right back.
So how's your garden growing?
It's
you live like in a very. I had only been to your place one time.
Yeah.
One time, and it's very, very green. I mean, it's a perfect place
for you. It's a jungle. It's about a jungle.
No, it's perfect. I love that area back there.
It's
Is that yours? You guys own that?
Not that part where you came up. That was actually it was within the family, but a portion of the family has it up for sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
But that's a wonderful place.
And it's been within my husband's family for years and years and years. Yeah.
You ready to jump right into the phone calls?
Sure, let's. Yeah.
Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning. Yeah.
I have a bumper crop of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And it just stopped raining here about a minute or two ago.
Right.
So
well,
what I've been doing is picking them up. Holy mackerel, I really got to slew them today.
Yes.
Popped up.
Yes, you will. With all the rain and the temperatures, there's nothing you can really do but pick them up. There's nothing you can put down on the lawn. There's nothing you're going to spray them with that will prevent them from coming back.
All right. Well, anyway, I try to get out there and get them before they open up.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess they drop their spores and make more mushrooms.
Right. And that some of them, you probably never get rid of all of them. You may have less some years just because the amount of rain. Then you have other years. If you find them, sometimes you'll find them growing in almost a circle, and it has the little fun name of fairy ring. And it is a condition within the lawn, and there's organic material under there breaking down that gives that fungus, that mushroom, something to grow to or grow from.
Now, that was the next thing I was going to ask. Is there like an anti-fungicide or something?
Nothing you can do for it. Nope. It's just something that happens. Sometimes you'll have fairy ring and you won't even have the mushrooms, or you'll just have a few. But if you look down from the top at the lawn, you'll actually see a light circle where it's just an unusual occurrence. It happens. But the best thing to do to get rid of the mushrooms is get out there early in the morning, as soon as you can, and pick them all up. And that's the best way to try to keep them from spreading.
All right. Well, I guess the next thing is swamp fever.
Yeah, it will be. Sure will.
Day.
All right, thank you. With the fairy ring and stuff, that's just something that it occurs in lawns. Sometimes you'll find it, and you will. You'll see a lighter colored ring. Sometimes you'll have mushrooms maybe in a line partially around there. Nothing you're going to do. You see them. You see the mushrooms. Just get a bag out there, pick them up. They're not going to hurt you to do that. If you want to, wear gloves. Yeah,
I do have a suggestion. This is just coming from me, so take it for what it's worth.
Right.
The golf clubs work great on mushrooms.
Oh, and they can be fun. Yes, I can make an activity that just whack them and see how far they go. But the thing is then you're spreading the spore. That's the only problem with doing it that way. But if you happen to have a dog and you have to go out there anyway to clean up, you just take the end, throw them all in the same bag, tie it in a knot, and put it in the garbage.
But those are not edible. Those are the poisonous ones, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, really?
Right. Some of them, they might be a puffball mushroom that actually actually is edible, but I'm not one
Don't
to
trust.
identify mushrooms to say that yes, you can eat them. I will buy my mushrooms in a.
You like mushrooms?
Oh, I do. Yes, they're very
See,
good.
it's not my thing.
They're well.
I could
you have
do
to be
without
earthy.
mushrooms.
They're,
You have to be earthy.
You have to be earthy to like mushrooms,
Wait.
or just a fun guy. Yeah,
I am a fun guy. More than one fungus.
It's a fungus among us.
The phone number is 622-WOCA if you want to call. So if you're growing mushrooms intentionally, can you do that?
Yes, you
around here?
can. Yes, you can. Actually, you can grow shiitakes. You can buy the button kits. Many of the garden catalogs or online suppliers will have a kit that you just have to bring home, follow the directions. Usually that takes watering and putting them in a dark room. Or a dark, minimum light mushrooms like to grow in the dark. And they have the shiitake logs are actually a piece of like a live oak log that's not cured or, it's not been processed really, but it's been drilled and the spore to the shiitake mushroom is then implanted on that log because that's where they grow on oak logs. And then you can grow them. And I actually asked someone, because they come out to the Master Gardeners Spring Festival each year. Usually somebody's there with the mushroom logs. I always said I would love to grow them, but I'm always afraid of a contamination from the natural funguses that are growing on the trees in the woods. And he said, no, that's not going to happen on that kind of thing. It's just, it won't cross-contaminate.
So the new shopping plaza is called the Grand Oaks.
Yes.
Oh, you knew that?
Yeah, I've been by the sign.
I just thought it was great. Here you have all these grand oaks lining
Along
the street,
right.
and they got them all lit up from the bottom.
Right, I haven't seen them at night. I haven't seen them after dark yet.
So it's kind of neat that they're
Right.
kind of focusing on them.
Well, they usually do on that kind of stuff. They'll
How old do you think those trees are?
probably a couple 100 years.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It is,
Couple hundred years old.
Well, that was just like when they expanded McPherson Complex and cut 25th Avenue through. How many of the old pecan trees were cut down?
Oh, I didn't know that.
To make way for 25th Avenue going all the way through, because it didn't used to go through.
And we had a lot of them, huh?
Yeah,
Was
there were
it a farm at one time?
It was a pecan orchard at one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have any pecan trees left?
There's still some, there's still some on that property as well, that you can find them. It is October. They should be dropping, but I'm not sure if this year's a good crop. Pecans do every other year.
Yeah.
They bear a good crop, then the next year is a lesser crop, then the third year will be a good crop. So they rotate, times on that. And so if you got if you happen to have a tree in your yard, you'll have a heavy crop one year and you won't have anything the next. Pecan trees are big trees. They take a long time to ever produce, and you have to have another one within a mile of it in order to get pecans. And then you have to fight the squirrels over them, because one squirrel can eat 25 pounds of pecans in a season.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of pecans.
Wow. And we'd love him at Christmas.
Yes, we love them for the holidays.
For some reason.
Well, they because they get ripe and begin to drop here in fall. So we have them Thanksgiving with pecan pie and things like that.
Carolyn, we have to take a little break, got
Sure.
a weather and a few things, and we'll be right back. If you have a question for Carolyn or just want to say something, 622-WOCA.
Weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A flood watch is in effect through this evening. Some clouds and some sun today with a couple of drenching showers and thunderstorms around. Most widespread this afternoon and this evening, the high 82 to 86. Partly cloudy later tonight, though 70 to 74. Some sunshine tomorrow with a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Heaviest in the afternoon, high 83 to 87. Thursday, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm in spots, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Bunbury.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
Now is the time to take advantage of Florida Credit Union's CD specials. Our 36-month CD comes in at 1.26% APY. A 24-month is working for you at 1.0% APY. And our 12-month at 0.75% APY. All CD rate specials require $10,000 minimum. With friendly service and rates like these, it's not hard to see why Florida Credit Union has your CD options covered. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Call 352-237-8222 for more information. Must act by 1/15/14.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
1370 WOCA.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Nice, not bad. It was drizzling this morning.
It was, yeah. And actually, a few minutes ago, I saw some blue sky, and I was being hopeful. I still see I see the sun peeking out.
A little bit, yeah.
I think we got today, and I think I heard tomorrow's supposed to be better. That we've got a cold front coming through. Should be a nice weekend. My understanding is we're actually having the wet a pretty nice fall.
Yeah.
You know, it hasn't been hot, but then again, it has been very wet. We drove through rain. I don't know how many times over the last, was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday? It rained Sunday, all over the place, and so it's just a system that's coming through, and just have to deal with it. And I mean, we can use the rain. We can always use the rain. It does help keep the lakes and rivers and streams all keeping that full force. It's keeping your lawn and trees and shrubs watered to where they're not stressing for water yet this season. When the rains do stop and we have our non-rainy season, things do have a tendency to get pretty dry. So having enough water going in now, that keeping that ground, even though we're very sandy, down deep, water does sort of stay within that, or within the particulates of the sand of the soil that we have, and keeping that as a fresh. And I think during the drought times they give you a scale of the hazards of how dry it's actually getting. And we have at times gotten really very, very, very dry, where things are almost tinder dry.
Oh, yeah.
And so having this extra rain that we're getting, I believe there are still some lakes that, they're not up to their full capacity, because we haven't had any real tropical systems in a couple of years that have dumped high quantities of water at any given time. So these are just regular rain events, fronts that we're having come through that aren't tropical, bringing excessive water. Even though we're getting 2 and 3 and 4 inches of rain sometimes at a time, we're under a flood advisory now. That certain, if you're on water or retention areas, are getting full. It takes a little while to process that water down into the aquifer, but at least we're getting water.
So I have a question about the pumpkins. I mean, it's kind of an obvious question as we get into October tomorrow. The pumpkin patch at Druid Hills, anyway, they import their pumpkins, I think, from New Mexico?
Could be.
Something like that?
Yeah.
There's a story in the Star Banner about a pumpkin patch over in Dunellen, and it shows a child in the photograph on a gigantic pumpkin, not quite as deep, rich orange as the ones we're used to, but kind of yellowish. Mm-hmm. All right. So we can grow pumpkins here, but
we can.
But they're just not orange. Is that right?
It's probably the variety or that the temperatures, they may not get
See if we can
as
tell me from that.
orange.
Can you tell me from
Yeah,
that?
that one's a little bit paler of a variety, or and there's many different varieties. The little tiny ones are one kind of pumpkin. The next size,
Is that right?
that there's little white pumpkins out there. The I think they call them boo pumpkins. Yeah, that they're white.
Oh, like ghosts?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
that they're,
okay.
yeah, and then you got the Jack B. Littles or the little flat ones that you see a lot of times in the grocery stores as decorations. But yeah, you can grow some pumpkins. It's just hard. It takes some work to get them. I know I've never had any real success on those because the length of time it takes to grow a pumpkin and then battling the fungal issues that we have with the rain.
Which is why New Mexico is a
With
better
New
place.
Mexico, and I mean they grow pumpkins further up the East Coast. When I was a kid growing up in New Jersey, there was a pumpkin patch up there, and that was open. You pick pumpkin. Actually, you could
What is
go
it with
through.
pumpkins? When you open a pumpkin, it smells nothing like the pumpkin flavored coffee that you can buy.
Or pumpkin pie
Pumpkin
that's
pie.
already, because it's a squash. It hasn't been seasoned. It hasn't had nutmeg and cinnamon and
it's really not the
gingerbread.
pumpkin we're tasting, it's the other things.
No, you do taste the pumpkin, but it's enhanced
Yeah?
with,
In the coffee.
yeah.
Because when I first heard pumpkin coffee, I thought, I don't want to try that.
Yeah, that's
But
kinda-
it is pretty good.
I don't drink coffee, so
Oh, you
I
don't have
to
any?
worry.
You're not coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
Got a phone call, though. Good morning.
Great.
You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, Illinois is the number one producer of pumpkins in the United States.
Okay.
And it's been that way for many, many years. Living up in Wisconsin, you'd hear it on the news about if the pumpkins are going to be good this year or bad this year or expensive or whatever.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, the greatest thing about pumpkin is the seed.
Yes.
And when we used to, buy pumpkins for the kids, I'd scrape those seeds out, and dry them and put them in the oven and bake them in that salt and butter. And oh man, that was.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better than that in a can of beer, I'm telling you.
Pumpkin seeds, and actually,
is good,
they're
yeah.
they're actually very healthy.
Oh yes.
That they're packed full of nutrition, and I'm trying to see whether or not we can find out if I can find anything real quick on pumpkin seeds. I'm saying more of how to grow them than
Or cook them?
than how to cook them there on a real quick one. But yeah, pumpkin seeds are good. Yeah, they're good. They're healthy. They're packed full of vitamins and stuff, and they're tasty.
And I'm a salt freak. I like salt.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Yeah.
If you took a pumpkin seed and planted it, would you get a pumpkin?
You should. If it's a big hybrid.
More than one pumpkin or just one pumpkin for one seed?
No, you would grow the vines, and there should be more than one pumpkin, just like a watermelon, more than one on each vine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're within that squash and gourd and all of that's all within the similar family, and you will grow more than one. Now, the ones where they grow those giant pumpkins, they do remove other flowering, the flowers off of the vines, and they and just nurse the one particular pumpkin in order to get those gigantic, state fair record pumpkins, because it's that record pumpkin that goes on to be that giant pumpkin seed that you find in the seed racks. I think each year is how they do that, is the selection.
Going to the different stores, it looks like there was a pretty good crop of pumpkins. I don't know where in Illinois or wherever. There seems to be plenty of pumpkins available. Nice size. A little bit more pricier than last year, but they're looking very good.
Yeah, and I think quite possibly these might be the first ones that are hitting the market, and maybe in another week or so the price may actually come down where more of the pumpkins are getting harvested and distributed around the country. These ones may actually be a little more of a local pumpkin. You never know.
Yeah. A real quick question on if you buy a pumpkin now and you want to make a pumpkin pie, let's say for the holidays, like for Christmas or New Year's back in that, how long will that pumpkin last, and how should you store that? Refrigerate it to sit it on the porch, or?
I make sure you're getting a pie pumpkin. You're going to get a better flavor. They're usually a small round pumpkin. Because they've got a nice thick wall in there, nice dark orange flesh to them. Just don't cut them. You can keep it on the counter. You can keep it on the kitchen table. You just don't want them to get out in the wet. Pumpkins, once they've been cured, they will keep for an extended time, but they really do prefer to be in a cool location. So generally, at least just on the kitchen counter would be fine. I don't think you'd have to refrigerate it at all, in order to keep it. But if you're going to get your pumpkins to carve for jack-o'-lanterns, I would wait to carve them. Buy it at any point, but wait to carve it till that week they're right with Halloween, because they will go bad quick once they're open.
Right. Could you take a pie pumpkin and slice it and clean it up and then freeze it and then take it out and make your pie later?
Oh, sure. You can process out the pumpkin and keep it in the freezer. A lot of people will do that when you get, pumpkins in season. If you want pumpkin for pumpkin pie, and you can can it, you can freeze it. It'll, it's gonna, I'd have to take a look and see whether or not you might need to add, possibly a little lemon juice to it, just enough to keep it from getting dark, possibly. Like a lot of things will turn dark once they're exposed to oxygen. Like apples will turn brown. Certain stuff will actually begin to change color and lose some of that, the attractive bright colors before before you're doing it. So I would look on a website and see.
Yeah, see, real quickly, I tried that banana in a bag deal. It really works good.
Oh, yeah. That's a trick. That's way back kind of trick.
Something I didn't know about. Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay, now here's another photo from the Star banner. That guy's got an orange pumpkin.
Yes, that's an orange one.
Same place.
Same field, yeah. And they can be different ones, and it could be that one that in the photo where the child's hugging it, is that because it was one that had gotten that big.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that it grew enough that it just sort of changed out on some of that. But when you're doing it's the pumpkin season, it's the mum season. Just as unfortunate event of the one mum back there that is deceased. Put the ghost thing over top of it now. Mums in Central Florida are perennials. They will, you can put them in the landscape. They will grow. They will come back. They will flower if you just keep maintaining them throughout the winter. They'll do a nice job on that. So even if you put them in a large pot, you buy some landscape size planter, pots, put them in a bigger container or right in the ground. Just as the flowers fade off, just cut them back and keep them. Don't let them dry out, but don't let them be soggy either. And they will just keep on going and going and going.
Do you think it's unusual that they brought a mum to a talk radio station?
Bring your mum, or is mum's the word?
Mum means to be silent, right?
Mum means to be silent. Mum's the word, but then again, they brought their mum. There's another way to go. I know, bad puns.
Yeah.
It's a different.
That's too bad. Wow.
It is.
I thought she just brought that in. It seemed like she just brought it in like the other day. It doesn't take long.
It was sometime between Tuesday and Tuesday.
Oh, you saw it there last week?
No, it wasn't here. Yeah,
so
it was
not
after. I don't believe it was.
I don't remember.
I don't either. I don't recall seeing it there.
And it's hopeless, huh? There's no hope?
Really?
No,
because usually if it's a little dry and you water them, they'll perk back up. Even if say people, and I don't like personally to buy distressed plants, and I'm hearing the music, so I'll probably pick up on this on the other side. We'll talk about that, the distressed plants on the other side on some of these holiday plants that are coming in.
All right. We need to take a little break. Your calls are an important part of this show, and we invite you to call Carol Ann. Got to take a little break right now, but if you call, you'll be on hold a couple of minutes. The phone number is 622-9622, and we'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Reports of a school in lockdown after a shooting in North Carolina at Albemarle High School. Police there saying one person's been hurt, another in custody after the incident early this morning. AP saying the police dispatcher confirmed the shooting but couldn't give details. Now signed a security pact with Afghanistan.
Will allow U.S. forces to remain in the country past the end of the year when American combat troops withdraw. Afghanistan's newly appointed National Security Advisor signed the document, along with U.S. Ambassador James Cunningham. The new president, Ashraf Ghani, has said he wants to reassure Afghans that this agreement is in the country's national interest.
Fox Radio's Emily Wither. And the head of the Secret Service answering some questions from a House committee today about the recent breach at the White House. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Let's get down to business. You don't travel too often for work, but when you do, you want to stay where you know you'll be taken care of. That's where Choice Hotels comes in. We have everything you need to keep you on top of your game, like free hot breakfast for that much-needed morning boost, free internet to keep you in touch with home base, and a generous loyalty program so you can earn great rewards. Stay for business at Choice Hotels and book now at choicehotels.com. Great endings begin here. Amenities vary by location.
If you are experiencing one or more of the following symptoms, fatigue, hopelessness, tension, negative mood, anxiety, or lack of sleep, you are eligible to receive a free 2-week supply of the mood-boosting supplement, Renew. Renew is an all-natural, doctor-recommended supplement that will help boost your mood and give you more energy right away. Renew has been featured on Oprah and The View. Call now to participate in the trial and receive a free 2-week supply of Renew.
Call 1-800-951-0595. 1-800-951-0595.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
News Talk 1370 WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Now, all right, 27 minutes before 10 o'clock, let's rejoin Carol Ann Baldwin. You've got a garden, by the way, 73 degrees right now here at the Paddock Mall.
Very nice out. Now, as I started to say before we took the break, was, distressed plants, I'm personally not a big fan, even though you can get plants at a very, reasonable price or cheap price. They are just that. They are distressed. If you know how badly they are distressed, some people are very good at bringing them back. To me, stay away from annuals. But with the holiday plants that are coming in, the mums, and later on it'll be the poinsettias and things like that, sometimes they're just broken, because poinsettias mums are very fragile. They actually are, and the way they're grown and shipped and everything, you go to try to take them out of trays and such, and they are stuck to each other because the little branches are intertwined, and you pull one out and one of them breaks off a piece of it. Many times those ones end up in a discounted or distressed area, and it's just because they're broken. If you know that what you're going to do is you're going to plant them and cut them back and they will grow, you're good. Ones that you find that may be a little dry, if you've gotten them, they look like they were a little wilted, realize you're probably going to lose all the flowers off of them. That you're going to see, you will plant it, get it going, and you will cut it back, and it will come back up and flower again.
How come the peperonia doesn't have any flowers ever?
It's because it's not a flowering plant.
So how does it reproduce?
It will, those stems, if they touch the ground, would probably root right there.
Oh, that's it. It never produces seeds.
Not that I've ever seen. They may have a flower, but I've never seen one with a flower on them. But that one sure does look nice now.
And that
It's
was
always
distress.
amazing.
That
was very distressed, and it did take a while for that to actually come back up to its full form because I had cut it back
Sure did.
some.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
cut it off. Yeah, some of it off. So.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Hi, Miss Betty. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Sorry, I had to do a shout-out to my buddy. I have a question for you concerning green peppers, bell peppers.
Okay.
It seems like every year I'm growing them, and I get plenty of them, but it doesn't seem like they got the hearty meat on them on the inside like a regular grocery store bell pepper has.
Okay.
Kind of lacking in that area. Is there something that you're supposed to do that I'm not doing? I don't know.
Do you know
I
which?
just do the fertilizer and stuff. I don't know what the name brands are.
Okay.
That I'm,
Okay, because there are, your California Wonder is a thick-walled, is what they call that. Pepper. It could be the variety of pepper in itself. But most of the time, it may be that it is cultural, that you may be getting a few too many or not quite enough in the nutrition side of it. Or when we fertilize, we happen to have a tendency to put down fertilizers that all contain nitrogen at the same time they contain other nutrients. And so that nitrogen is giving a lot of plant growth and not necessarily putting as much into the fruiting body of the plant.
okay, so I need more in the higher number of the.
Usually would be the phosphorus and the potassium, probably the second two numbers, as well as your micronutrients.
Okay.
That's probably going to be your best bet. And it's kind of hard to find that without still having some nitrogen in it. You may find it in some of the garden catalogs as something, that's going to be a fruit or bloom boosting kind of plant fertilizer.
Okay, very cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I did look up, because we were talking about, the pumpkins on here, just as something fun that they're, as they say, the pumpkins fall between winter and summer squash in terms of the rind hardness. That's where a summer squash is real tender. You can slice them, saute it, you eat the whole thing. Your winter squashes are generally very hard-shelled, where they will keep for an extended time. Your pumpkins keep for a while. Here in Florida, they don't keep as long, if grown here, but, as long as, say, some other pumpkins, or if you had them further north. And it's more than it's our temperatures and the humidity and the heat. The three things that we have, heat, humidity, those two things actually, is what's going to do in your pumpkins if you try to store them out, or keep them on the front step of the house as if they're getting rained on. But there's several different ones that do well here if you're doing or ones that you will find. The Connecticut Field, most popular variety for carving. And it's funny because didn't he say Illinois?
Yeah,
and none of these
yeah.
are Illinois names. I'm seeing Big Canter's Supreme, Common Field, Connecticut Cornfield, Golden Marrow, Lakeshore, Michigan Mammoth, Pure Gold, and Yankee. And those pumpkin can be used for pies, canning, stock feed, carving. In Florida, the Howden and Jackpot are the best. Big Macs and Big Moon are other well-suited big pumpkins that can get up to about 200 pounds, even here in Florida, under ideal growing conditions. They say Funny Face. Now, I've not seen a lot of these names, so you'd have to probably find them in specific seed catalogs, is a semi-bush plant, which would be kind of nice in a smaller garden area, because most of us don't have big fields to grow pumpkins in. And Atlantic Giant can be considered the best show variety, reaching over 200 pounds in Florida. But there is one type of pumpkin, a Cushaw, Cushaw, and the Seminole pumpkin is one of those, and that is like the Florida pumpkin. And it has quite a rich history, as it was a staple food product with the Florida Native Americans. So we do have a bit of a history within a pumpkin for our area, but they do say don't make the screen littler. You need about 4 months to get pumpkins from a seed to a pumpkin that you're going to harvest. So you're growing them in early July.
That makes sense.
And that's a wet time of year, July and August and September, in order to try to get that pumpkin and battle the disease issues, which is an issue. They say spring pumpkins planted in March or April can be stored for use until October, though long storage is difficult for us. But that would be probably a more ideal time to grow them because the humidity hasn't gotten up, the rains haven't kicked in as much. So, options there, but we can grow some pumpkins here.
And it makes sense. What I wanted to point out, we had one time these little tiny pumpkins.
Yeah, the little Jack B. Littles. Yeah,
and they lasted forever.
Yes.
I mean, I think they were around the next October.
They could have been, so long as they don't get damaged. A lot of them will, and if it's kept cool and dry, that's your biggest storage issue is making sure. So if you're going out to select your pumpkins, try to make sure that you turn them over and look at them, that there's not a where they put them in the boxes, that they didn't get caught on something and tear part of that bottom, or that somebody hasn't put a fingernail through them, into the top of that skin, because that's going to be the first place that it's going to begin to rot.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning,
hey, Joe.
I've got a quick question, I hope, for you, Carol Ann.
Okay.
I had to have a huge water oak taken out of my yard because it had contracted a root rot.
Yes.
Yeah, the tree looked good, green and all that, but as they were taking it down, there were branches that were just massive branches that were hollow. And then as they were using the stump grinder, they found parts of the trunk was hollow.
Right.
How long do I have to wait before I plant something there that won't be affected by the root rot mushroom that was growing before? And would you go with a live oak or something like a bald cypress? And I'll hang up, get the answer, like the show.
Okay, thanks. That's a tough one on waiting. You'll see these trees, and they'll get a hollow in the middle of them, and the tree may be green, doing well. It might be the first sign of it. When you see it, may be a crack or something in the bark or spot that just is beginning to look discolored, and under further investigation or a longer length of time, because the tree will live there for quite a while, but you get a good storm, could take it out and cause some property damage and things like that. So you do have to be careful. On the root rot, usually, I think if I was going to try to put another oak back in there, I would probably wait 2 years, only because you're not going to be able to get rid of all of those roots that are underground. You can have the stump ground out. That just is, leaving you a big pile of sawdust, and you might consider some other type of tree. Probably going with a cypress wouldn't hurt, because then you would be actually changing into another species of tree. And so, if you really wanted to put another oak, I would probably wait 2 years and try to starve out the disease, because that's usually what we do with things. If you have a bad issue in a garden sense, is just you don't plant the problem for at least 2 years. When we have the problems with the queen palms getting the Ganoderma butt rot, it sounds real. It does. It kind of makes you Ganoderma butt rot. Kind of makes you itch.
It starts sounding scientific and it ends up being silly.
Being silly in a way, right? And it is BUTT. It's and it is something. With that, we don't replace it with another palm, because I guess it just never really goes away. On something like that, you would actually have to change to another tree. So again, I would be sort of treating that in a way the same kind of way, would be waiting at least 2 years to put an oak in, or just changing to another species of tree. And I hope that worked on there.
Oh my goodness. And we have to take a little break, so we'll take that break and we'll be right back.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Talking about ourselves stimulates the brain the same way love, food, and cash do. Everybody's favorite subject is themselves. So on a date, ask her about herself. Adults studying a new language learn words and phrases faster when they sing them. Normal, happy cows produce about 9 gallons of milk a day, but super relaxed and happy cows produce more than 10 gallons.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
We are The Source, WOCA.
All right, yes, we are. 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's return to Carol Ann Baldwin. You've got a garden, and remember, the phone lines are open. You may call Carol Ann at any time with a question or simply the chat with Carol Ann. The number is 622-WOCA. That's 622-9622. If you're out of the area, and you might be, because I do see Carol Ann has some people online paying attention to her on the audio and the video, the phone number is 352. If you're out of the area, 352-622-9622.
Yeah, and just going back to that with the Trigo, and that was, I made the joke of the Ganoderma butt rot. Oaks can actually get that as well. Just taking a look, because based upon that, he said, it wasn't wilting or anything, so it wasn't the Amaryllia, something like that, rot, because that one actually causes wilting, that the tree definitely shows sign of decline. But if his tree, I don't know if his tree had shown any symptoms where it has like a plated fungi that grows out of the base of it within the first usually 4 feet of the trunk, and that's one where you're going, ooh, what is that weird fungus growing there? It's basically the tree is on its way out.
Huh. And you have a phone call, Carol Ann.
Okay.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
I have a question while you were talking about the pecan.
Okay.
In your adventures around Marion County, would you know of anybody that sells a pecan wood for barbecue?
Oh gosh, offhand, I don't, but I would figure if you can find somebody who's got pecans that that they're selling them out of their trees in their yard, you figure every so often you've got some limbs that come out. You're thinking of doing wood chips up for throwing in your smoker box, or? Yes,
there was a fella on. Out in Silver Springs Boulevard with a mobile barbecue truck, and he was burning the pecan. It was a pecan barbecue, smoked barbecue. And that wood, when he first started it up, that smelled so much better than hickory. It made your mouth water just smelling the wood.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because hickory smells really good. So, I would just...
Smell better.
Yeah, that's true. I would, offhand, I don't know if anybody knows anybody who has, I'll call it like a better way. You pick pecans, which you just pick them up off the ground, or somebody who's selling any of the local pecans. That would be the way to find it. You might call over to Extension and talk to, see about the small farm agent. Ag agent may be able to tell you who would have pecan trees, where they're growing them for commercial use. And that would be my thought would be to go to them to find the wood.
That's a good tip right there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime you're looking for something unusual, that's probably the best way to go. Or even go online. The Fresh from Florida is, all that is businesses that are registered through, and it's best of my knowledge, for the business, it's free, that they can make sure that their products and things are listed within their directory to aim people into stuff that's from Florida, fresh from Florida.
And you have another phone call. Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry and Carol Ann. I was just going to add that, you can go online and get any of that kind of stuff for smokers and get any kinds of exotic woods. It's relatively cheap, already chopped up, ready to go in your barbecue.
Right. Yeah, but that's ordering probably small bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can order
5, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, I think you can get.
And sometimes you can find them even in the big box stores where you find your grills, and your different charcoals, because there is hardwood charcoal that's not the briquette, and that's usually a mix of woods, and that you can usually get the smaller bags too.
That would be a good deal for them, though, if you found somebody with a pecan tree that needed to be cut down, or
right, or just some limbs because sometimes you're looking for that log. You're going to do a big cookout. You're going to you're going to barbecue a pig or something like that. So you're looking for a long-term burn. So
I never barbecue a whole pig.
No, you just got to do that on a Friday afternoon.
All right, have a good day.
Thanks.
No, I never do that.
But sometimes you do. If you're having a big get-together, you're having that big football party or that big celebration, you might be putting that pig on a spit.
I'm not saying I don't eat bacon. I'm just saying I never cook a whole pig. I'm sure you do. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, Carolina, it's you again. Real quick.
Yeah.
The guy that was looking for pecan chips. I know Walmart in the garden center has all kinds of chips. I'm not sure about pecan, but I thought I had seen it there one time, but I'm not sure. But anyways, my brother-in-law, they love their pecans, and they're eating them almost all year round. And he's got himself, family members, neighbors are saving the shells, and he uses the shells for that smoke.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
He says it works really good. You get a lot of those in a hurry if you eat a lot of pecans.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure, though, if the shells are going to impart that same flavor that the wood will, even though, we have done, if you're looking for orange, you might take orange peels and put them on in your grill as well, so it might help. I'm not sure if that would impart that same flavor, that same scent.
Well, he's been doing it for many years, and he raves about it. So I don't know. I've never tried it myself, but sometime I'm gonna.
Right. Super. All right, thanks. Yeah, and that's I was saying with the big box stores that they a lot of times do have have some of those other woods available that they're usually in a smaller bag, so you don't have to store a massive 20-pound bag of stuff. It's like a little 3 to 5 pound bag, which you'll use maybe 2 or 3 times. There may be 2 or 3 barbecues in each bag. It's worth. But
we have a few minutes left, and I don't want to forget today. I do have a Bob Wine's certificate to give away. So
and I can't forget this either. Is it's sitting there under my elbow the whole time. Is this Saturday, October the 4th, from 8 to noon, is the Master Gardeners 2014 Fall Tree and Shrub Sale. And so if you've been after Florida-friendly ornamental trees, shade trees, shrubs, selected perennials, fruit trees that will do well here in Marion County, Central Florida area, come on out. It is generally cash or check only. They do not have a way to run your debit card or anything like that. It is the address for the extension office, if you've never been there before, is 2232 Northeast Jacksonville Road. If you need to give a call here during the week to find out how to get there, 671-8400. There'll be soil test kits available. There will be master gardeners there to ask questions on how proper planting, etc. And we will have South Oaks 4-H to offer customer service on getting your plants to your vehicle and helping you get that. And those kids work for tips. It gets them into some of their camp programs and things like that. And they're good bunch of kids. And there will also be publications that the university has that'll be for sale as well. So anytime you're looking for some of those things, instead of having to buy them from the bookstore, you're getting them from, a small, very, very small amount comes back to us, but it just gets, you're getting it with the taxes included to it because of the way we purchase bulk. Like a bookstore would.
Right. So I have a question. I think it's going to be answered very quickly.
Could be.
So
being we haven't given one away in a while.
So I have a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery. And earlier, Hugh had pointed out that the state that produces the most pumpkins is Illinois.
Right.
We've also been talking about pecans.
Right.
What state produces the most pecans?
The most pecans.
It should be relatively easy. If you get it wrong, I'll tell you go north, go south. I'll kind of direct you.
Yeah. Give you a geographical direction.
I'll see if I can even test me on my geography skills. But $20 for Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery of yours. If you call us at 622-WOCA and tell me what state in the United States produces the most pecans.
Pecans.
All right. It's easy one to look up because I just
just Google it. Which state produces the most pecans?
Yeah. Not to be confused with pecans.
No, that's what you keep under the bed in a cold winter's night. But that's another joke there. But no,
I wonder how my camellia plant is doing over at the Cascades.
Yeah, I haven't been over there in a while.
It's been over a year. Been over a year since I've been there. Come on, do you know how many? Which state produces the most pecans?
Yeah, Florida.
Go north, young man.
Go north, Georgia.
Georgia, that's the answer. Georgia is the answer. Texas is second. Did you know that?
No.
I just looked it up. Who's this?
This is Bob. How you doing?
I thought that was you, Bob. You got it. You got a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wines.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Okay,
all right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so everybody learned something today.
Yeah, now you know.
Georgia, Illinois does pumpkins. Georgia,
and if you think about it, when you drive through Georgia, there's always the tourist places that are selling
the Georgia pecans
onions
and Georgia pecans.
And the pecans, lots of pecan products like
the nut logs and pecan pie.
Kind of in the mood for that.
Yeah, start to think of pecan pie for Hey, forget Thanksgiving. Let's have one now.
Right.
Why save it? Why save it for one day a year? Make pecan pie
It is something when you go there. It's true. They're all over the place.
There's a lot of pecans. We do grow a lot of them here, but a lot more of it is dooryard. If somebody or old pecan trees that you'll find around, and if you see somebody with one in the yard, go knock on their door. They might let you pick them up because they get tired of picking them up. Don't just go walking around their front yard scooping them up. That if they're willing to share, go knock on the door and they'll tell you. Same way with fruit trees.
Well, you ready to hear your new song again?
Sure.
We're about ready to
about that time
to close the door on the show for this week. Well, thank you, Carol Ann. It's always
Thanks,
fun.
Larry. Yeah.
And In the Garden with Carol Ann.
There we go.
And the song from Stanley Spencer.
That's it.
Names you in the song.
Names me in my song.
Thank you, Carol Ann.
Thanks, Larry.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, the Village.